Hello and a very warm welcome to this special. Today we are looking back at the action in the IPL 2022 so far, and we've got to begin with the Sunday thrillers. That's right, the two matches. Won an improbable win by Delhi Capitals, courtesy brilliant partnership between Lalit Yadav and Akshar Patel. And the second, Punjab Kings showing their batting might, chasing down 205 runs with an over to spare. Shubhayan Chakrabarti is here with me. We'll also talk about Dhoni's 50 Chennai Super Kings. Trying everything towards the end to win their first opening game against Kolkata Knight Riders, but Kolkata Knight Riders too good on the day, avenging their loss of last year's final. So lots to discuss here. We'll also talk about what are, the early trends. I know there's just very little action that has happened so far, 3 matches, but we know teams chasing are the ones doing well. So will that be a trend that will continue? All of that discussing right here on this special. Shubhayan, thanks so much for joining us. Let's then begin with DC versus Mumbai now. You know, the thing is that when the match was on, especially when Lalit Yadav and Akshar Patel were batting, and I saw the scorecard and I thought, okay, 72 for 5, Shardul Thakur out. I was like, okay, this is game over. With Mumbai, Jasprit Bumrah, Daniel Sams, you thought, khatam ho gaya. But within 10 minutes, the game completely turned around, and what a turnaround from two unlikely heroes for DC.
Absolutely. Lalit Yadav again has been doing so well for last couple of years for Delhi, and now Ricky Ponting has backed his talent for that middle order role, and we saw what he's capable of. He was absolutely flawless in that knock, but credit to Shardul Thakur and Akshar Patel as well. Who would have imagined that they would have pulled a complete heist. Last 70 runs were scored of 30 deliveries. So you can feel that impact, where Delhi Capitals showed that we don't have our full team yet, but we are there. We will be there in that playoff zone.
And now there is a big blow for Delhi Capitals. News that's just coming in is that Mitchell Marsh is injured. That is a huge blow. They had got Mitchell Marsh with keeping him at number 3 for them. But if you just look at the graphics, and I'm going to put those graphics up, right up, there you take a look at that. Ishan Kishan got off to a good start. That pressure really, whereas 81 is what he scored. Now there was the pressure of the price tag. 15 crores is a huge amount, but for Ishan Kishan to say that, look, I don't care about the money. I am going to do this for Mumbai, like I've done it in the past. So he started the game well with Rohit Sharma, and took them to 177, and you thought that was a good enough total, isn't that so? You thought that 177 is a good total, and the kind of bowling that Mumbai has, they'd be able to defend it.
Absolutely, it was an off day for Jasprit Bumrah, we can say, but Basil Thampi made a cracking start, picked up 3 wickets. So this is a good team. Mumbai Indians is a good team, a bit thinner than the previous years, but we have to give credit to how Akshar Patel, Lalit Yadav and Shardul Thakur took the match away from Mumbai Indians. But again, as you said, Ishan Kishan didn't show any pressure of that price tag of 15.25 crore price tag. We have seen many big players crumbling under pressure when it comes to the big money price tag. And Kuldeep Yadav, Meha, what a sensational start to his IPL 2022. I mean, a player which many wants to have him back at his best. So Kuldeep Yadav picking up 3 wickets, choking Mumbai Indians is a terrific sign for the things to come in IPL 2022. And what he needs to do next is that put up some consistent performance. Kuldeep Yadav, we know all his talent. And we saw what he did, and as you can see the scorecard as well, Meha, Khalil Yadav did well with the ball, but he was Khalil Ahmed, sorry, but he was the only shining light from that, apart from Kuldeep Yadav. But when it comes to Mumbai Indians bowling, apart from Murugan Ashwin and Basil Thampi's good start, things completely faltered off for them.
Okay, then let's move on to the next game. And you thought that you'd already seen the thriller for the day. But hey, it was a Sunday blockbuster, and it's IPL, and it's, the opening really of the IPL, day 2 of IPL. And then Punjab Kings and Royal Challengers Bangalore decided that, look, we're going to give you another thriller. And this time, it's going to be a high-scoring thriller, and what a thriller it turned out to be. Now, if there was a contest you would see between RCB, which I believe is one of the best bowling lineups in the tournament, against what is the best batting lineup in the tournament, it would be Punjab Kings. But Punjab Kings coming on top, Royal Challengers Bangalore would be disappointed with the way their bowlers went about, especially in the death overs. Mohammad Siraj, you expect more from him.
Yeah, absolutely. And 21 wides bowled by Royal Challengers Bangalore, and that was the first thing Sanjay Bangar pointed out in the post-match press conference, that we need to cut on those wides. 21 wides, 14 alone by Mohammad Siraj. That was an off day. Even Akashdeep from Bengal making his IPL debut, he conceded more than 40 runs. So a bit of a nervy start when it comes to RCB's bowling lineup. Even Hasaranga, one of the best T20 bowling exponents in the world, he was expensive, and we have to give credit to this terrific looking Punjab Kings batting lineup, starting from Shikhar Dhawan, Mayank Agarwal showing the way, and then Bhanuka Rajapaksa took the show away absolutely, and what a sensational IPL debut for him. But we need to give credit to Faf du Plessis for the way he batted in his captaincy debut for Rajasthan for Royal Challengers.
So that is my next question then, though, Shubhayan, that there was a talk around his strike rate and whether the start by RCB was slightly slow. They'd got to around 52 in the first 9 overs. And maybe that's where the difference was, because when you saw Punjab Kings, the way they approached the innings, and it was also because you knew that 205 needed to be chased, but they just went hammer and tongs right from the word go. I know they've got great openers in Mayank Agarwal and Shikhar Dhawan, but did you feel that too? Because I did read it from a lot of people saying that, look, maybe Faf du Plessis should have gotten off a little bit faster off the blocks.
But RCB scoring a 200 plus total, a lot of credit needs to go to Faf du Plessis as well. The kind of acceleration he showed in the second half of the first innings of RCB, and he just took away after he was at 1.24 of 34 deliveries, and he scored his next set of runs in 35 deliveries. So you can see the kind of impact Faf du Plessis can make. Yes, there could be questions whether he could have started a bit quicker of the blocks, but again, RCB touching 205, it wouldn't have been possible without Faf du Plessis' knock.
I think some of it was also possible because of Dinesh Karthik and how he finished off the innings. And you realize that Dinesh Karthik, and I know a lot of people were a little skeptical, RCB fans included, who did say that Dinesh Karthik really isn't he past his prime. We don't see him finishing matches, but he showed in the first match that this is what I can do. We've seen him do it in the past. We know what he did in Nidahas Trophy. None of us can ever forget it. But Dinesh Karthik can do it again, and he can do it now.
Absolutely. The numbers prove Dinesh Karthik's prowess as a finisher. More than 200 strike rate, more than 1,000 runs in 70 matches as a finisher, pure finisher. Always there were talks around why KKR didn't utilize him in the best possible manner, but we know Dinesh Karthik in that 16 to 20 over zone is at his deadliest best. You saw those shuffle, you saw those slog sweep. Even he was extremely delightful to watch when he played those inside outs over the extra cover fielder. So Dinesh Karthik is a complete package if you use him in that 16 to 20 over mark. Before that, I'm not sure, because his best batting bits have come in that death over.
Now, if Dinesh Karthik was the finisher for Royal Challengers Bangalore, then Odean Smith for Punjab. I know with the ball he'd already scored 50-odd runs, but I think he made up for his, lack of performance with the ball in the way he batted. 300, that was a strike rate, 25 of 8 deliveries. There's reason that Punjab really did get over the line, because they were losing wickets at one point.
And Royal Challengers Bangalore would be very, very disappointed the way they fielded during that Odean Smith knock. Anuj Rawat dropped a Odean Smith catch. Harshal Patel was extremely sloppy. Where there was a run out chance. So you can't give that many chances to Odean Smith, because even if it placed 10 deliveries, he played 8 deliveries and took the match away from RCB yesterday. And you know, players like this, Livingstone, Odean Smith, Shah Rukh Khan in that unit, you have Johnny Bairstow yet to join, you have Kagiso Rabada yet to join that squad. This is looking a terrific side on paper, and you know, if they can gel together a couple of spots, Raj Bawa, if they can bring in an experienced all-rounder, or even can give Raj Bawa more confidence, more pump to perform in the later phases of IPL, then this squad is looking.
But I did see a very nice small little moment when Raj Bawa got out, and how Mayank Agarwal walked up to him and patted him and said, "It's okay, it's okay. You've gotten out your first game. Don't worry." And I do get a sense that there is that security in that camp. Given they've got such a good lineup, I think where they've done exceptionally well in the auction and in the first game. Now we'll move on to what was the opening encounter of the IPL, which was Chennai Super Kings versus the Kolkata Knight Riders. Now, Chennai Super Kings, a lot of their fans, would have wanted them to win, but Kolkata Knight Riders avenged the loss of 2021 IPL final, beating CSK by 6 wickets. Umesh Yadav, he really was, the pick of the bowlers for Kolkata Knight Riders. And again, with a point to prove. Umesh Yadav hasn't really shined with the ball in the recent times in IPL. Point to prove, does it in the first match. And if it weren't for the 50 by Mahendra Singh Dhoni, things could have looked far worse for Chennai Super Kings. They did get to 130 odd. But again, that total would have been a very difficult total to defend.
Absolutely, and the way, Umesh Yadav took the game away from CSK in the first half of that first innings itself. The first ball he started on a bad note with a no ball, but again he took Ruturaj Gaikwad for a duck, and Ruturaj Gaikwad at the moment is the best, most informed batter in that lineup. So early strikes did take CSK back to their back foot, but we need to give all the old guards a standing ovation. The way MS Dhoni batted, the way Dwayne Bravo picked up 3 wickets and equaled Lasith Malinga, the way Umesh Yadav came. And a small stat on Umesh Yadav. Umesh Yadav is the only Indian player to have picked most man of the match award, the Indian pacer. So we have seen Umesh Yadav's impact in past as well, but as fans, thinking Umesh Yadav, Ajinkya Rahane, they are past their prime, they can't do anything more. They come, Ajinkya Rahane came up with a brilliant 44 in the top order, and then Umesh Yadav we already talked about. So these are the 2 old guards that took.
And then the other being Dwayne Bravo. How good has he been for CSK, and equaling Lasith Malinga as IPL's highest wicket taker. And again, even for Dwayne Bravo, one would have thought, oh, way past his prime. But, got the wickets, crucial wickets for Chennai Super Kings. Okay, now what this means is that a couple of things have stood out for us. One is that all teams at this point have liked to chase, and chasing has given them dividends. They won their games. How much of a factor will that be? How big a factor will toss be going ahead in these tournaments? Because dew will come into play.
Absolutely.
So that's one thing. The other thing being that if we just move on from leaders of that orange cap race. At the moment, the leaders, Faf du Plessis, of course. And I also got the sense that it almost felt to me, Shubhayan, that AB de Villiers leaves the cap and Faf has filled those shoes. And even the camaraderie between him and Virat Kohli was wonderful to see.
South African, there's some sort of South African connection with Virat Kohli, but it was good to see Faf du Plessis, a CSK veteran, coming to a new side, absolutely seamlessly slotting in as a captain. And you can see when Virat Kohli, there were a couple of changes when Faf went up to Virat Kohli and asked him about the bowling changes or fielding changes, and there was that camaraderie. Faf was tapping on Virat's helmet after he smoked a beautiful 6-over cow corner, but again, Faf would be disappointed the way RCB fielded. I think given we saw his fielding standard, his personal fielding standards is extremely high, and he would want the young guns to step up on the field and take these matches, because not every day you score 200 plus scores.
That's right. And also, I think not just with Mohammad Siraj, Harshal Patel also will need to pull up his socks in the next game, because you have been bought for a lot of money. And I know that at times that pressure can get to you, but he needs to forget about that and just go about doing what he does well for them, what he's done well, in the past, as well as being the purple cap holder. And talking about the purple cap race, Kuldeep Yadav, Dwayne Bravo, Basil Thampi, all with 3 wickets. I know these are very early times, but Murugan Ashwin, Umesh Yadav, Khalil Ahmed next with 2 each. Murugan Ashwin, again, a lot of people before the tournament began were talking about how if there is a weak link in the Mumbai team, it was their spin department, and in that sense, they'd be happy with the way Murugan Ashwin went about in the first game.
Again, Murugan Ashwin, a veteran of domestic cricket, has done it all for Tamil Nadu over the years. He has played quite a few matches for Punjab Kings in the past as well, but Punjab Kings have never utilized their players perfectly. I would say their, now you will see how KL Rahul does in this Lucknow Super Giants camp, but Punjab Kings have never utilized their players. You saw Livingstone as well in past Rajasthan Royals; they didn't utilize him well. So these are the kind of players, if you back themselves, if you back them, they will give you the returns. Not consistently, but even in 4 matches out of 14, if they can win you 4 matches single-handedly, they will. These are the results that will ultimately matter in the business end of the tournament. And you will rue, like for discussing Faf du Plessis, RCB, they will rue. Maybe had Anuj Rawat taken that catch, then we would have had 2 points. So these are the small things, but a good start for Murugan Ashwin in this tournament. For Mumbai Indians, they still need to sort of balance out their bowling attack, but if they can do Jasprit Bumrah in colours, they are a good looking squad. Nothing to worry about, MI fans.
Okay, but the other person who impressed all of us was Kuldeep Yadav. We've seen him, and we've seen how he struggled in recent times, been out of the side, injured, confidence taken a hit. This is wonderful. I think there were so many commentators and former cricketers that were talking about how they were happy for Kuldeep Yadav, and rightfully so, because we've seen Kuldeep Yadav and what he can do when he's got the rhythm, and you did get that feeling that he is really feeling good about his bowling, and that showed in his performance for Delhi Capitals. But we'll get you all the latest from IPL 2022 at 6:30. We also go live on our UP Uttarakhand channel in Hindi, so do join us then. Then at 7 o'clock is when we are going live on our YouTube channel. So we'll be back. We'll be previewing the big match today. The 2 new teams, 2 brothers in arms today in opposite camps. Hardik Pandya versus KL Rahul. That's the big match. Gujarat Titans versus Lucknow Super Giants. That's coming up tonight. So we will be previewing that game. Shubhayan, as always, my colleague, thanks so much. He and I will be back. We'll also have Nikhil join us for the preview. For now, goodbye. Thanks for watching.